Okay, hey, welcome to another episode of On Point EDC. Today we have a fun segment for you, which is kind of a culmination of all of the other pen reviews I've done on the channel thus far. And I figured, hey, while it's still kind of the beginning of 2022, why not talk about the top three EDC pens that are out there? And honestly, they all kind of fall within that same category of titanium bolt action pens that are all made here in the United States. And honestly, this is my pick of the litter here. I think these are pretty much the top three that are out there right now in terms of the build quality, the price points, the original designs and design aesthetic. So some of you, I would hope, are looking at this and seeing three completely different pens. Although I know to kind of the casual viewer, you might think, wow, those all look kind of the same. So, I mean, again, it's just kind of a matter of perspective. There's a lot of people who think, every dive watch look alike. And then there's others of us who can notice every little tiny difference. In this case, we do have the Ti2 design bolt liner grid in the regular length, as well as the tactile turn slim bolt action short. And then to round out the group, we do have the Urban Survival Gear Ti Scribe Go titanium in the full-sized unit. And these are, at least as of filming here, the latest iterations. Honestly though, depending on when you watch this, they might already be updated and improved, and that's just how fast these guys work. And I think that's one of the special things about these types of brands, how they kind of just stay on top of their game, and they're always pushing to raise the bar. And honestly, even as these pens lay right now in their current trim, I think they're pretty much the best the game have to offer. But don't just take my word for it. Let's get into some of the details and reasons why I think these are the best three options available. All right, now before we get these in hand, quick customary wristwatch check. I'm wearing my G-Shock Virtual Armor. It is fully titanium. It just happens to have a DLC coating. I figured it was suiting to wear, as well as the fact as if you can look at what time I'm filming this, and pretty much any of my mechanical watches with a date window are going to be ready to transition, and the date window wouldn't be centered, which would bother me, guys. And don't get me wrong, there's definitely been times I've been wearing watches in these videos and the date window is crossing over. I do try to avoid it though. But let's start out here, I guess, with the most expensive one, which is going to be the Urban Survival Gear pen, which I absolutely adore. Check this thing out. Now, one of the things here is you're going to notice that really dark wash finish in terms of that matte titanium, and then you're getting the high polished contrast there for the grip. Very beautiful. Fully integrated there, pocket clip with the bolt action mechanism. Very smooth. You can kind of actually just push it sideways. You don't actually have to push it down, but if you need to push it down, you do have a nice little bit of grip etched in there, as well as the nicely signed cap, which is now moving, as you can see. Very cool. Oh man, this thing is just so smooth, unbelievably smooth, guys, and really quite handsome. Now, in terms of the next one down, I mean, who doesn't love Tactile Turn? They even started doing knives within Tactile Knife Company. This one, the Slim, is just something very special. I can appreciate the updated design here with the milled pocket clip, although it does mean that there's going to be a little bit more peeking out from your pocket. But when what's peeking out looks this good, I mean, it has this type of quality, you can't really be mad at it here. Very beautiful action as well. A little snappier. There's a little bit more of a detent that's built up as you slide it over versus the more smooth action that you'll get from the Urban Survival Gear unit. That just flows. So for those of you that want something super smooth sweeping, maybe this guy's for you. For those of you that want that nice kind of snappy action, possibly this one. And some of you are like, man, when's he gonna pull out a piece of paper and write? Guys, these companies don't make the inserts, and honestly there's a couple different options, typically some level of Pilot G2 or you know, Schmidt Easy Flow 9000. So pretty much these are all going to write however you make them write, depending on the refill that you use inside of the pen. So I'm not going to jump into that really in this video. Now let's go to the newcomer here, guys, which is the Ti2 Designs. And Ti2 Designs is by no means a newcomer, but in terms of them joining the fray with a bolt action unit, it's definitely something on the newer side for them. One thing I really enjoy is that you do get that nice deep carry, although this kind of end piece here on the tail does leave things open a little bit. And of course, some of you are probably looking at the shape of this little kind of J route that goes there and already have your minds in the gutter, but it's been brought up on the actual direct review of this one, so you know, why not address it now. But the finish on here is really nice, guys. It has this nice matted kind of stonewash finish. It catches the light really well, and then you do get some nice extra depth with that grip there. Also, another unique feature is that you're going to get that really cool exposed tip, kind of the drafting style there, and it is quite solid. So really well done from that perspective. It just, you know, again, you put it next to this pen, to me it looks like a much different pen. I mean, there's just so many different qualities. One thing about the Tactile Turn and the Urban Survival gear that they have in common is that the shaft here, as you can see, is fully enclosed throughout the action. Same here, but not the case here. So you do get a bit of an open pocket there. Not that anything should ever get in there, because you're only going to have your tip out when you're writing, not while you're carrying. So everything will be sealed from that perspective. And you do get a very nice action. I'd say a little bit maybe in between the two in terms of it being snappy, but also quite smooth. Probably more comparable to here. And you can see the shape there is a big part of that as well. You guys like the sounds? Anyways, guys, these things are very sweet, and you can see even when we get down to that deeper carry pocket clip, you still have about equal amounts. Well, technically it would be here, so maybe not quite equal amounts. Let's try this guy here. Okay, there we go. About equal amounts will be kind of sticking out, maybe a little bit more here on this one if we want to consider the bottom of the milled portion. But I just love that these three pens took very kind of similar but different approaches. Obviously, being within the same actuation style as bolt action kind of already gives you something in common, but they're all they kind of share certain things. Like there's certain things that are alike about these two, there's certain things that are alike about these two, which I think is kind of fun. Of course, much different tip style on these guys versus the drafting style tip, much more traditional here. And you can see the tolerance there, no gap, no tip wiggle, very nice. And then you see this style here, a lot more exposed. The nice thing about that exposure is if you're using the pen, then the nice thing is that you have ultimate visibility on what you're writing down to the tip, versus, let's say, for example, if you're using this, you might get at certain angles and whatnot where you just don't necessarily have that extra bit of visibility. I mean, it's by no means hindered in terms of visibility, but you know, you compare that and that amount of tip that you can still see versus this one. I mean, you got a whole lot more there. So really nice from that perspective. I really enjoy all three of these options. At the time of filming this, guys, right now, the Urban Survival Gear pen goes for $99.99, and that's when it's pretty much on sale. But the regular price on this is about $115 from that perspective. So really beautiful pen. I think they're actually going up just because, man, this is a premium piece, guys. That's one thing I really enjoy about this piece in terms of its kind of design grammar there. It's just a fully fledged, well executed theme that everything just fits, and that's a commonality here. But I love that it just does something very different, and it just down to the finishing, right, with the high contrast polish versus the dark wash there on the titanium. Not quite a black titanium, as you can see from this DLC coat, but still quite dark in comparison to something like you're going to see here, which is going to be a more traditional. You can see it's an extra shade darker. And then you see this piece here, guys. You got this bad boy here from Tactile Turn. These are going for 99 bucks at the time of filming, and they are absolutely worth every penny. There's something that just feels extremely premium about this piece. It's really fantastic. It just screams handcrafted, and it really is. These two pieces are made in Texas, while this one's made in Hawaii, but still, in terms of the craftsmanship, guys, there's a lot to love. You can see the nicely undersigned there under the milled clip. There's the little messaging there, as you can see. Hopefully I have it right side up. Yep, Tactile Turn. 2021 is when I got this piece, but you know what? Early 2022, still a winner. Same here. You can see, though, I figured I'd show you guys this little under etching there. It's made in Texas. Very cool. No such under etching here. So again, certain things have commonality, certain things don't. But one thing I really like about this piece is just how utilitarian it feels. It feels extremely purposeful. It doesn't feel like anything was done just strictly for design. It feels like everything was designed for to improve the function, and then that's kind of where the form came out of. Versus these two, I feel like are quite refined and definitely make an effort to just present a beautiful form factor, commensurate with the fit, finish, the quality of the hardware that's used down to the actual milling of these bodies. So, oh man, the smoothness on this. Yeah, that's good stuff. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is there another bolt action titanium American made pen that should be in this mix? Let me know. I mean, for me, guys, if somebody was like, hey, I know you have that channel where you kind of check out a lot of different pens, which one would you recommend? It would absolutely be these three options, and it would kind of vary depending on who that person is that I'm giving the the feedback to and the advice to. This one definitely cleaner, minimalist, aesthetic, very just utilitarian, but at the same time flows really well. Versus here, I think it has just more of a kind of luxurious feel, a bit of bling, but still quite futuristic and, within that minimalist vein as well. Not too much going on, but everything that's going on is fantastic. And then you got this one, which for me fits more into just the flat out EDC lovers crowd. There's just a lot to like if you're somebody that is into watches, pens, pocket knives. This just feels like it's from that world, which I can appreciate. Versus these two, although they totally are from that space, they're so well executed and refined. They just do, you know, I think these really stand up next to fully fledged kind of writing pens and writing instruments that people really drool over in the mainstream, versus this definitely feels a little bit more niche by comparison. You know, you put this next to a Mont Blanc or something, you'll probably be less impressed, versus I think these two still really hold their own against some of the mainstream staples that are out there. So guys, with that, again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. There's a lot to see. I know you guys have already probably seen the review for this watch, but if you haven't, definitely check the channel history. There's a couple more reviews that'll be posting here within the next couple weeks. I think you guys will really enjoy. Unfortunately, I couldn't sneak peek you any of those watches, and you know, mainly because it's so close to 12 midnight right now that all of those date windows would be half cocked, transitioning to the next position over. So with all that said, guys, again, if you like the video, please do hit like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks, guys.